This has to be the most surprising anime episode of the year for me. Like, I genuinely did not expect this episode to be so damn great after the most important fight of the season was over, and I was somewhat disappointed with the previous episode as an adaptation. Maybe it's because I had low expectations or something, but holy hell, this episode was hype as fuck and really enhances this part of the manga. As a manga reader, I was expecting these final two episodes to be where they decide to cut corners on, but it seems I was wrong and I could not be happier. So, without wasting any more time, let's dive in. Okay, so first things first, the giant elephant in the room, the Mei scene, and
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
that's all I have to say about it. Also, I cannot wait to witness the inevitable shitstorm on Twitter with popcorn in my hands. Then we finally get to see what's up with characters like Panda, Kusakabe and Choso. The Choso one is particularly interesting because of the flashback of an event that didn't happen after his fight with Yuji. And we finally get answers related to this later in the episode, which is some genuinely surprising stuff that shocked me while I was reading the manga. Moving back to Yuji, we finally get him at Geto's first ever meeting in the series. Yuji tries to rush in to get the prison realm back, but Brain-kun uses one of his curses to stop Yuji in his tracks, unable to move forward. Then we get Mahito's bitch ass getting absorbed by Geto. Rip Bozo, get wrecked. Also, the sequence of Mahito getting absorbed looked really fucking cool. Then we finally get the Kyoto students arriving at Shibuya after everything is almost over. And we get almost everyone trying to attack Brain-kun. Kamo with his arrows, Miwa with her sword, and Mai with a fucking sniper rifle. Mai honestly based as hell, but seriously though. Miwa mentions her never being able to use her sword again and using all of her strength in this one swing. Potentially a binding vow to boost her power, but sadly for her, Brain-kun blocks it with one hand, Aizen style, and breaks the freaking sword. She's truly useless Miwa until the very end, huh? Still love her though. Then we get the Uzumaki scene that looked absolutely stunning and reminiscent of the Jjk Zero sequence. Absolutely loved this scene. And thankfully for Miwa, Kusakabe, who's secretly a goat not gonna lie, uses his simple domain to block Uzumaki. After that, we finally get Choso arriving at the battlefield and we get the massive revelation that Brain-kun's real identity is Noritoshi Kamo, who was known as history's most evil Jujutsu sorcerer, and the fact that he also happens to be Choso's father because of the experiments he did on Choso's mom, and not just Choso's father because whenever his brothers are in danger, Choso can sense it, and the same thing happened with Yuji. Along with the realization that Kamo can switch bodies, Choso becomes sure of the fact that Yuji is his blood-related brother and possibly one of Brain-kun's children. What an absolutely fucking insane reveal. This shit genuinely made me WTF when I was reading it. The story implications of this reveal are freaking insane and completely changed the entire story. Also, in case some of you guys are unaware, Noritoshi Kamo was foreshadowed in season 1, and ironically enough, it was episode 24. The same episode where Yuji kills Choso's brothers, who also potentially could be his own blood-related brothers. Then we start the absolutely insane fight between Choso and Kamo that starts with him putting a hole in Uraume's hand, and the fight was absolutely nuts, especially the music, which has been one of my least favorite aspects this season. I loved the OSTs this episode, and the animation of the fight was genuinely surprising. Massive shout out to every single staff member who worked on this episode and gave us such incredible shots, especially because this fight was just a fraction of what it was in the manga. The staff absolutely cooked and made Choso such a freaking badass. He's slowly creeping up the ranks as one of my favorite characters, After that, we get everyone trying to jump Brain Cone, but sadly, as much as I hate Uraume, he single-handedly stops every single one of them in their tracks with his busted curse technique. And it turns out that he also happens to have reversed curse technique, meaning that he can heal himself, something that only a few other people aside from Gojo and Sukuna can do. We also get an awesome moment where Yuji saves Choso from Uraume and Choso tells Yuji to call him Oni-chan. Uraume then goes in to kill everyone aside from Yuji, but then Yuki Tsukumo, Todo's teacher, the one who's partly responsible for the path Geto went on and one of the only 4 special grade sorcerers, arrives at the battlefield asking the iconic question. And this is where this insane episode of JJK ends. This was truly a surprising episode for me, and honestly, I love it more than the previous episode. Not necessarily because of the content, but just as an adaptation. And I got so fucking hyped Choso throw down with his father. Honestly, one of my favorite fights this season, which was so unexpected. But that's pretty much all I have to say for this episode. Comment down below what you guys felt about this episode. Did you guys love it as much as I did? And if you did, then leaving a like on the video would be very appreciated. And maybe consider subscribing too. Have a nice rest of your day and hopefully see you guys in my next video.